Good morning and welcome. It's a beautiful day and it's an exciting day. This is an exciting day for UMass Boston, for our local communities, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as we announce the future of offshore workforce development that comes to us through the steadfast and result-oriented leadership of Congressman and good friend, the Honorable Stephen Lynch. Welcome, Congressman Lynch.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm Joseph Berger. I am the Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and it is really, truly my honor and pleasure to welcome you all here this morning. We also have some other distinguished guests here with us today, including Commissioner Elizabeth Mahoney from the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources, who is here on the behalf of the Healy-Driscoll administration. City Councilor Aaron Murphy, one of our very own Beacon alumni, and Tonya Metlock, Executive Vice President for the Massachusetts Business Roundtable. Thank you very much for joining us here today. This is a day whose time has come for the Commonwealth and for the university. UMass Boston was chartered as Boston's only public research university to provide inclusive access and excellence for our local students who bring a wealth of cultural and linguistic talents, life experiences, resilience, intelligence, curiosity, and a work ethic that our communities and Commonwealth both need and deserve. Building on that charter, and now as the third most diverse university in the nation, UMass Boston's 10-year strategic plan for the times focuses on promoting holistic student success while addressing the most pressing challenges of our times as we create new and diverse pathways of success for students in ways that benefit our great city and surrounding communities. This includes the new Offshore Workforce Development Center that we announced today. The Offshore Workforce Development Center at UMass Boston will ultimately engage thousands of students, organized labor, and industry in the myriad of emerging careers related to the ocean. The Chancellor and Congressman will speak more about the center in a moment, but I am proud to note that this center will address the 4 R's of higher education that drive this initiative that are particularly important here at UMass Boston. Now, I know we're used to the traditional 3 R's, but in this case, the 4 R's are rigor, relevance, responsiveness, and responsibility. We're providing rigorous training and academic programming. We are being responsive to the pressing and real-world needs of the future workforce that serve the interests of individuals, communities, and the Commonwealth. Relevance, because we are partnering with employers and experts in sectors and industries who work with us to ensure that our curricula and offerings are preparing our graduates to contribute to the practical needs of the workforce. And responsibility. We are responsible for ensuring that there are equitable opportunities that fill and create the jobs of the future, and do so in areas that our society needs most, including education, healthcare, and certainly sustainable and clean energy. Congressman Lynch has been a champion for this work, a leader who is making a difference for UMass Boston and the citizens we serve. And speaking of leaders who make a difference, it is now my privilege to introduce our Chancellor, Marcelo Suarez Orozco, who has been a true champion for workforce development, for sustainable energy, and for making a very real and different impact that the other many universities aspire to, but only UMass Boston can deliver. Chancellor Marcelo Suarez Orozco.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Provost Berger. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Columbia Point. If it was 20 degrees warmer, I'm feeling like we're back in Los Angeles in a coolish day. But anyway, the sun is just magnificent. I'm delighted to be with our good friend, Congressman Stephen Lynch, and all of you today to announce a transformational, timely investment in the offshore workforce of tomorrow. In a few moments, I will have the privilege of introducing Congressman Lynch, who will talk about the $1 million appropriation he secured to fund an offshore workforce development center at UMass Boston. But before I do, I want to thank so many good folk, partners of our university, who have constantly supported the extraordinary mission of UMass Boston. Representative Hunt, Senator Collins, Council President Lugin, and Councilors Murphy, Flynn, Fitzgerald, and former Councilor Baker. We are grateful for all they do to strengthen Boston's premier public research university. My thanks as well to our partners in the business community who have supported our application, and of course the business roundtable, the chamber, AIM, and the competitive partnership. Of course, I'm always grateful to our exemplary provost, Provost Joe Berger, and interim dean for the School for the Environment, Bob Chang, for preparing a thoughtful, strategic proposal around the idea of the ocean, the precious ocean, as an incubator for educational programming, talent development, and economic growth. This key appropriation enables UMass Boston to venture into a new fertile area of STEM education and position ourselves to shape a pipeline of workforce-ready folk who will power the regional economy in emerging fields like offshore wind, aquaculture, blue tech, and coastal resilience. As we continue to face the wicked impacts of unchecked climate change, this endeavor is not only smart, it's fundamentally existential for protecting the fragility of our beautiful harbor and our beautiful harbor campus. The funding will also unleash state-of-the-art educational technologies and facilitate the design of innovative, accessible, flexible micro-credential programs across the STEM curriculum. Establishing an offshore workforce development center at UMass Boston represents a unique opportunity to both build cutting-edge professional training infrastructure and catalyze regional economic development. What we call in the old country a win-win. In time, I'm confident the center will be regarded as another UMass Boston initiative that is fundamentally off and for the city and off and for the times. With that, it is my honor to introduce the individual responsible for bringing us together today, a distinguished public servant, a passionate advocate for American workers, and a tireless champion of UMass Boston, Congressman Stephen Lynch. He has long been committed to making UMass Boston the crown jewel of the UMass Boston system. Remember, no hablo flagship, the crown jewel of the UMass system. And he continues to deliver. For 3 consecutive years now, he has secured discretionary federal funding to support our initiatives and growth at the university, the only campus in the UMass system to receive such funding. Please join me in a warm beacon welcome to our great friend, Congressman Stephen Lynch.
Thank you, Chancellor. We're really laying it on thick this morning. But I appreciate your kindness, your friendship, your leadership, your energy, and the way every single student who comes to this university knows they are welcome because of your spirit and the joy in which you pour yourself into the job. Great to be here, everybody. You know, I know we have all kinds of work going on. There's the senator. Good to see you, sir. Councilor Baker also here. So this is a team approach here. While we have a quarterback in Chancellor Suarez Orozco, there are a lot of other people who are, you know, line people and running backs and who all work as part of the same team. But I want to thank you, Chancellor, for your kindness. Thank you, Joe Berger, for your kindness as well and kind words. We're here today, as the Chancellor has mentioned, to celebrate the $1 million in federal money that federal delegation, and I want to include Senator Markey and Senator Liz Warren, who had to fight the good fight over in the Senate to make sure that the money stayed in the final version of the bill. And also, again, I want to recognize the people who brought this issue to me in the first place, our colleagues here at UMass Boston, the Chancellor as well as his team, and also the local officials that, like myself, we feel that that UMass Boston's campus is still a diamond in the rough, and that we can amplify and expand what's going on here at UMass Boston in a way that really does lift it to become the, I would say flagship, but we can say crown jewel of the UMass system. I always tease my former colleague Marty Meehan about the fact that my goal is to make this the flagship university within the system. But it's a friendly competition. But I want to thank Senator Nick Collins for his great work, Councilor Frank Baker, who is really someone who has had a vision for the entire peninsula here as a local city councilor, has really provided a lot of the energy and it has really brought me into the mix in terms of the wider development of the area, and also the important link between UMass Boston's campus and the neighborhoods, be that, Dorchester, Roxbury, South Boston, Mattapan, the entire city. This is a university that I think is best situated to really serve the core needs of the people who live here. So I thank Frank for his great work. And Erin Murphy, who is relentless, represents the entire city as a councilor at large, and now is a candidate for clerk of the SJC, and we're with Erin. Let's put it that way. We're with Erin in her pursuit of that office as well. So this Workforce Development Center, focusing on wind energy, wind turbine technology, I think will. Look, this is a natural, right? We're right here on the water. There's not another campus like this in New England that can provide direct connection for students who are interested in maritime science or wind technology, just the environment in general. The fifth R that Joe Berger did not talk about is resiliency. And I represent, my district runs from the north end of Boston, the neighborhood of the north end in Boston, all the way down to Hingham. And every single community, when we offer funding, federal funding, the first thing on their list in every single town, whether it be Quincy or Weymouth or Hingham, everybody's trying to strengthen their resiliency. Even the neighborhood of South Boston, the North End, we're doing a $61 million project there with the Coast Guard to make sure that Coast Guard station is resilient in the face of climate change and sea level rise. So after this little event, when I shut up finally, we're actually going to do a little tour and look at our next project. For the resiliency of this campus and really expanding on its potential. This center will not only expose students to the skills necessary to succeed in offshore wind technology and in that industry, but also to the fields of aquaculture, blue tech, geographical information systems, and coastal resiliency as well. The center will include virtual reality labs that will introduce students to the unique ocean environments and heights that offshore wind turbines reside in. Students will also have the opportunity to use the center's state-of-the-art online learning platforms and participate in hands-on laboratories and workshops to gain specific skills related to renewable energy. And we're beginning a a new relationship and a new connection with Thompson's Island, where this UMass Boston campus will have a presence there, so that hands-on research and experience. Think about students who come from, the Midwest and have no connection at all and no familiarity, but have a burning desire to work on climate issues or maritime issues. This campus offers a singular opportunity for students like that. Sometimes because this is where we live, we take that for granted. But this is a treasure. This is a treasure, and we have to maximize that in elevating UMass Boston's reputation nationwide. The center will also hold immersive experiential learning modules that will allow students to participate in weekend experiences on site at those wind turbines and aquaculture farms, among other locations, to help them envision what a career in offshore wind or a similar field might look like. Similarly, it is remarkable here that 80% of the students who attend UMass Boston continue to live here and work here. And that is extraordinary. You don't see that in any of the other universities in this area. We are really enriching the city and enriching the Commonwealth in a way that few universities are doing. So I have no doubt that students here will use their experiences at the center to prepare for the 77,000 jobs that we anticipate the wind energy industry will create in the United States over the coming years, with many of those located right here in Massachusetts. So this is a great thing. This is a good beginning. The way these community funding projects work is it's a competitive process. So we have to lay out what will happen as a result of this $1 million in investment on federal funding. So we meet with the staffs, we meet with my colleagues, because we have to, it's a vote, right? So we have to put our project up against other projects. And the fact that I'm here today and able to join with my colleagues in government to announce this $1 million grant to the university is a sign that the soundness of that project was successful in persuading my colleagues, 435 members of the House and 100 senators, to support this project, but also the competitive nature of this grant and the impact that it will produce was far and away better than any other competing grant, and there were many that were offered in its place. So I want to congratulate Chancellor Suarez Orozco for his great work. I'm looking forward to our next project that we're gonna focus on, and can't wait to meet some of the students as they leave this university and go to work in this industry, because I think it has, as the Chancellor has said, there's an existential element of the work that will be done here in this program. So congratulations to University of Massachusetts Boston and to all the students here as well. Thank you. Oh, it is now my honor to welcome the Environmental Commissioner for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Mahoney, to offer her remarks on behalf of the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor.
Thanks so much. And as my congressman has said, I'm here on behalf of the Healy-Driscoll administration to really congratulate the Chancellor and UMass Boston and thank Congressman Lynch and the delegation for this excellent work. We're all in a race for these federal dollars, so I know how hard you must have worked to get this. And it really does speak to the innovativeness of the program and how this campus and these students are going to really contribute to the future of the blue economy in Massachusetts. And, at the Department of Energy Resources, which I lead for the Healy-Driscoll administration, we're doing a lot on offshore wind. You may have heard. We've got a big procurement out right now that we're reviewing. And that's because our Clean Energy and Climate Plan is telling us we need many, many gigawatts of offshore wind. And we are the first state in the nation to build a utility-sized offshore wind facility, Vineyard Wind, off our coast. They are operating. It's very successful. It's very exciting. We're leading the nation. But what we know in leading the nation is that we need more workers. We need to train up great work with our friends in labor, and make sure that we have bodies on the ground, boots on the ground, ready, or I guess in the water, ready to go and build out this economy. We have a lot more to go. And by, like I said, by 2050, we need 23 gigawatts of offshore wind. That's a lot of turbines. And if you've ever visited, and we hope that you have a chance to see this work in action, and hopefully you'll see it here in action, what needs to be worked on is just massive. These facilities are bigger than you can imagine. And they are complicated. And we know that demands a trained, educated, and enthusiastic workforce. And we know that this project at UMass is going to be leading the way in bringing on more and more workers to the field. Obviously, I bring greetings again from my colleagues at the Mass CEC, the Clean Energy Center, which I'm sure will be working closely with UMass and helping build out this workforce. They've done a lot in the workforce space, and I know are looking forward to supporting this project. I'll just a couple of notes that of why we need these workers. We have a procurement out right now. We're trying to hopefully build another couple of projects. BOEM, very exciting news yesterday. BOEM announced new leases in the area. So there's going to be floating wind in the Gulf of Maine. And you think, well, it's Maine, who cares? But it's actually going to deliver, hopefully, a lot of power, maybe 10 gigawatts of power to Massachusetts. So again, we're going to need folks going into, off of New Bedford and out of Salem and into Maine. And hopefully they'll be trained here and really brings a lot of pride to UMass Boston. One thing that we really learned from the Vineyard Wind project is that when these developers work with labor, they can implement project labor agreements that deliver jobs, good paying, high paying jobs to the economy and to our friends in labor. So we hope that will be built upon in future rounds, and hopefully we'll have folks coming out of this program that will go into labor and continue to help build out the project. But I just want to say, again, congratulations to the Congressman, to the Chancellor, to the UMass Boston Offshore Wind Workforce Development Center, and we look forward to working with you and celebrating your future success. Thank you. I think I'm introducing. You're introducing? Sorry, I'm always staffing. Counselor.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. As was mentioned, I am an alum, a graduate, and I do have to say, from the previous speakers, I think in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was a student here, I think maybe those windows were closed because we never really thought that the ocean we were right next to could be a classroom, a learning center. So thank you for that. And the slogan, right, for the times, I do want to thank everyone at UMass Boston for forward thinking, right? And thank you to Congressman Lynch, my congressman also, we were just here last year, maybe, in the nursing lab, and always making sure we get funding. But as you know, in government, we can get the funds, but when we deliver it, those that we're delivering it to have to be ready for it. So thank you, UMass, for being ready for the money and knowing that you'll do what's best. One thing we talk a lot about on the City Council is the cost of living in the City of Boston. And thank you also for your partnership. You have a new partnership with the McCormick and the students in the Boston Public Schools. We do have to do a better job in our public schools in Boston, making sure that our students are prepared for college when they graduate. But thank you for already being willing to get them ready and when they're in high school and see themselves in these jobs. It's important that we're making sure our kids here in Boston know that these jobs are for them. So I'm happy to be here, always happy to celebrate, and looking forward to the tour. And I'll pass it on to my Senator, Nick Collins.
Thank you very much, Councilor Murphy, to Congressman Lynch, Chancellor, and their teams. The Chancellor, in his time here at UMass Boston, has really grown the brand as a thought leader and a collaborator to solve some of the most pressing social economic issues of our time. And my favorite value added about the Chancellor isn't just that he now pledges allegiance to the Boston sports teams over our rivals in LA. It's that he raises kids here, and his life experience and work and his civic action here at UMass and its students are getting access to a world stage. This is part of that. And we know it's going to be of high importance, in the context of environmental issues when he convenes his summit at the Vatican in Rome at the Pontifical College. So we'll congratulate you on that. And to Congressman Lynch for always delivering for his district, and here once again, in the same week he could be battling at a hearing in Congress and also securing federal funds for programs like this, where we're lucky to have him representing us and for bringing us along as state and local partners, showing us how to get things done, and prioritizing the most important investments that we can make. So I wanted to be here and continue to support UMass in the Massachusetts Senate. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you to all our speakers for the engagement and the effervescence with which they support our endeavors at UMass Boston. This city is a city at the forefront of so many of the existential issues of our times, and I think this initiative embodies a unique partnership between the city and its only public research university, taking on just a fundamental challenge now and moving forward. I am so grateful. It is the honor of a lifetime to serve as the chancellor of this extraordinary public research university. And on Saturday at Gillette Stadium, I hope you all root for the other Argentine who will be visiting here. That's all I say. This concludes the speaking part of the program. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Enjoy the beautiful day.